We welcome you to another live edition of the Sports Box, brought to you by our friends at CrowdPlay. Download the free CrowdPlay app today and use the box at sign up for 10 points. And here we go.
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the show that gives you everything you want and so much, much more. Only on the Sports Box Network. I am Hampton Mike Galletta, along with my partner in crime, Brian the Ranger Attard. And yes, this is Highly Opinionated. Hello, Brian.
Yo, we're getting hockey back. How exciting is that?
We are. We got some guests coming next week for hockey, and maybe the next couple weeks. I know definitely next week, but we'll see. Next couple weeks, we should have some pretty decent guests on. We are talking football tonight. We're talking everything except Charlie Woods, and we won't be talking Charlie Woods tonight. So, Brian, take it away. Let's talk about CrowdPlay.
Seem kind of salty. I don't know why. Guys, check out our friends over at CrowdPlay. Free app you can download. You can win cash and prizes. Use our code THEBOX at sign up. You get 10 free points to start. Definitely give those guys a shout. Again, you can definitely win money. There's no catch. So check it out. $0 risk on your part.
So I'm going to open up tonight with the Jackass of the Year award.
Okay. The Jackass of the Year award.
The Jackass of the Year award, whether it's in baseball, basketball, hockey, anything. You want to tell me, Brian, that there's 2 games left in the football season, okay? This person gets a start in the NFL again, okay? And then 2 hours after the game, gets pictures taken of him in a nightclub, throwing money around. Now, is this the same guy that last year, before the game ended, he went over and took a selfie in the stands?
He did.
Yeah. So wouldn't logic tell you that you're skating on thin ice to begin with after making a move like that, and then you do something dumb like you did on Sunday? I mean,
you
think
the
logic there.
You think.
I mean, listen, I know these guys have money, and a lot of these guys think they walk on water and they can't be touched and all, but if you're Dwayne Haskins of the Washington Redskins, you have an opportunity to play pro football. You're starting again because basically they have nobody and you're getting in there. So you have an opportunity to show yourself, you can, be a straight up guy, be a leader and all. And 2 hours after the freaking game, you're at a strip club. Wow. I don't get it at all. I mean, there's guys out there busting their ass, working their way, trying to make an NFL, team.
I mean, he'll be out of a job though.
Oh, without a doubt. And if anybody takes him, they're crazy because he's just proved twice now he's so immature that, yeah, I saw that Josh Rosen got signed off the Bucs practice squad. Chris, it is heart-wrenching, and I was crushed for a little while, but yeah, I'll move on from that. It's not listen, it's funny in San Francisco, you want to get into them. Josh Johnson got moved up to their active roster, but then unfortunately he tested positive for COVID. So they had to sign Josh Rosen. They had to bring him in from the Bucs practice squad to have an extra quarterback on hand. So, has Jimmy G gone away there? Is he gone after next year?
I mean, there's some talk of that. I don't know that that's necessarily for sure. I think they're going to look for alternatives. I don't really know that they know for sure what they want to do. But I mean, listen, they win a lot more games when he's playing now. I don't know if that's necessarily because there's nothing else there.
Well, so do you get rid of Jimmy G and give the reins to Mullins, or do you bring in another guy? Or do you bring in a Carson Wentz?
I don't think they. Well, I mean, again, there's going to be a lot to unpack with that. I think so. They're going to have some options. People are going to have options.
Ryan Leach thinks he goes back to New England. I've heard that too, but I don't know if that's going to be relevant. I know Cam's out of there next year. I know that for a fact.
Here's what we do know. Here's what we do know. Listen, I've brought this up a million times on this show. If you're not going to win, you need to lose. And I think when we look back on this season many years from now, yes, we will remember the COVID year, the empty stadiums, everything that we went through. But one thing that we're also going to remember is the way it looks right now. Trevor Lawrence is going to be a Jacksonville Jaguar, and we can point to this week
And
as
he's happy
when he was decided he was going to be a Jacksonville Jaguar. Because the question that I have for you, Mike, very simply, are the New York Jets the dumbest franchise in sports history? The floor is yours before I have my
pretty close. I mean, and Gase was excited about the win too. After he had a press conference, he said, "We just showed everybody what we are." Yeah, well, at this point, like Brian said, you're probably better off losing out. And if you want that quarterback, you just blew it because now you're not getting Trevor Lawrence. Now Jacksonville's 100% getting him. But see, in the same sense, I'm on the boat that the Jets shouldn't pick at 1 or 2 anyway. They should trade down and try to get multiple players because one guy isn't going to change that franchise. Although they need a quarterback, I think they could survive with Sam Darnold. You just have to get him some weapons, build up the offensive line for him, and go from there. It's going to take. And Douglas has his hands full because he's going to really have to make some magic there in the next couple of years and really build this from the bottom up and make it stick. You can't just have it build the first year and then just all crumble because you're right back to square one again. But I just think that they need multiple players. And you trade that first or second pick down, Brian, you get multiple picks, first and second in the top 15.
You don't
help you go a long way if you make them right.
You don't pass up on Trevor Lawrence when you can get Trevor Lawrence.
I agree.
And you figure it out after that. Because remember,
how have they done so far?
Listen, Joe Douglas has no ties to Sam Darnold, right? So you have to remember that. It's not as if this is a Joe Douglas guy. And I've said this a million times. These guys, when they get brought into jobs, they want to win or lose with the guys that they bring in. They're not going to be held to task for a bunch of guys they didn't bring in. Okay. So you want to talk about, Adam Gase is getting fired. Adam Gase is an asshole. So when Adam Gase goes out there and he says, "Oh, look how happy we're," you have no idea what you just did to this franchise for the next decade.
But see, if you're Trevor Lawrence, you're going to, say you do go to the Jets, okay? Say they pick him first and all, and yeah, they got a quarterback, and yeah, rah, he ends up going there. Can he actually make them better or be there long enough where they're going to get better and he's going to thrive? I don't think so. I think that you draft that quarterback.
Yeah, but Mike, if you get the quarterback, things figure themselves. Look at Buffalo, all right? Things figure themselves out after you get your quarterback there, if you get your quarterback there.
Well, what do you do with Darnold if you draft him? You just cut him and take the hit. You cut him and take the hit, or you just keep
trade him. You get something in a deal. There's teams that are going to need quarterbacks at the end of this year. Just cut him and go. But my point is, you don't pass up on Trevor Lawrence. But if nothing else, you had him. And then It's just.
What if you were able to get that pick and trade down? I'm just saying, trade down to say 4. And you one of your picks is 4, and you get Fields from Ohio State.
Fields going to the Jets.
Yeah,
and that's the problem.
I like Fields too. I just don't think they need a quarterback.
He's not Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is the best quarterback prospect we have seen in many, 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 many years. And I'm telling you, the Jets would look a lot more enticing to a head coach with that pick, to players who might want to go play with Trevor Lawrence. This is a abject disaster.
I just think the Jets are that bad that they're going to need a whole overhaul, and that's fine. That's fine, but
things change.
Well,
look how good the Bucs look with a different quarterback.
That's a little different. You got a 20-year vet there. I mean, and they had pieces there. They had pieces there. They had Mike Evans. They had Ronald Jones coming in. They had guys there already. Who do they have? Frank Gore? I mean, you're going to have Frank Gore run behind him. How's that going to help him? He needs a veteran running back to come in behind him that's going to be here for a couple of years. Yeah, Lap is huge. I understand that. I understand that, Anthony. I just don't think the Jets, as easy as that pick seems to take Trevor Lawrence.
Easiest pick in the draft.
I just think that they could use more people. They can use more.
You figure it, get Lawrence and then figure it out.
I think Sam Darnold might not be a top 5 guy, but he's a serviceable quarterback if you get him enough weapons and an offensive line.
I can't win with serviceable in the NFL. I'm in an NFL with Pat Mahomes. That's not serviceable. That's elite. You're going to need to have an elite quarterback to win.
No, you can't blow it up.
An elite quarterback. Things change after that.
Melissa, how many Pat Mahomes come off a tree? I mean,
he was the 3rd quarterback taken in that draft.
He was, and look at Brady. Look at Brady. Brady was a 6th-round pick, and look how that worked out. I mean, you get certain quarterbacks where they are 1st-round quarterbacks. Yeah, some of them a lot of them pan out. A lot of them don't.
That's fine, but I'm just universally, this guy is the pick.
Yeah,
universally.
I mean, Darren's saying it too. Jets need all talent.
All you have to do is be the losers that you are, and you get them. We're in week 15.
So you take that pick, you trade down, you get the best offensive lineman in the draft. Doesn't help you.
No, it doesn't help you. No, for what? Get the elite quarterback.
Got to protect your
It's
investment.
a quarterback.
No.
That's fine, but you get the quarterback, and then to take the next 2 years to work around it, and you're okay.
I just don't think, especially with the Jets situation, it changes the landscape all that much. I think you're right back where you were. It's different from Darnold. Darnold was definitely a different quarterback, obviously, but it's right back where you started from again with the quarterback. When that piece is vital, but everything else is crap too.
Jermil Kirkpatrick in the outside the box viewing party says the Browns will not lose to the Jets. No, I completely agree. But this for the Jets is a total. You can't look at this any other way. Any other way. Look, I'm sitting here right now. Where's my ping pong ball? It's somewhere over there. This works. It works. Look at the Sixers. You can say they haven't won. It works. I don't want to hear that. There is nothing to be gained with this win. Zero, nothing, nada. You got Jets fans and fake Lawrence jerseys and bars like this, like, no, oh my God, you can't even lose right.
Yep.
This sets the team. I'm sorry, this sets you back further.
You have to lose down for the Jets and got to hope to God that Jacksonville wins another game, which I doubt. So
look at their schedule. I don't see it.
No,
I don't see it at all. Savior, I completely agree. This is going to haunt them.
If this is halfway through the year, it's a different story. But they're this far into the season, it's a done deal. I mean, that's why they're eighth round. That's why stinks.
Brings up my next point. What do you do with the Rams now? Because you just lost to an 0-13 team at home.
That's a loss of focus, is what that. Who did the Rams play this week? They play somebody. Who did they play this week?
I get the schedule. Hold on.
Could have been a trap game. I don't think so, but
I don't care.
Well, no, you don't lose that. Somebody was going to.
Yeah, I don't. This is bad. This is bad.
And you know what? I'm a proponent of always saying that sometimes you play down to your competition, and that's what happened. The Rams came out here with a chip on their shoulder, thinking that they're just going to wipe the Jets off the planet, and they played like garbage, and that was it. By the way, Cam Akers killed me in my fantasy league. I lost by a point.
Sean McVay's got to be held to task. They do play Seattle next week, but you can't lose this game. Listen, you don't have to cover.
Nope.
You don't have to cover, but you got to win.
Definitely a trap game. They're looking ahead to Seattle, and they thought they were going to run over the Jets.
You got to win. Well. You have to win this game. You have to win this game. I can't feel good. This is the second time at home they've lost to a subpar team in not that many weeks. I can't feel good now about the Rams in any game because you can't beat the Jets.
It's true.
That's all I'm saying.
I
don't buy the line work receiving in the zone. I look at the Rams and I say, I don't know now. I was sitting here the other day. I used my own barometer where I said, add the total offense, total defense. They were tops in the league by a mile. And now I don't know what to expect now. That's coaching. You have to, you don't have to blow this team out. 17.5 was the spread. You don't have to blow them out. You got to win the game.
Yeah.
You got to win the game.
Bookies must have got it beaten on that game. I mean, I don't think a ton of people took the Jets, but
no,
they did.
Well, no, bookies did well. 97% of the money was on the Rams.
Yeah. I think the Jets went off at plus 910 or something like that, plus something like 8 something. Like when I saw it was 805. Yep, it's a trap. There it is. It's a trap.
I'm not. Mike, what? Come on, it's the Jets.
It's not an excuse. I'm just saying it was a trap game. It definitely. They thought they were going to come out there and walk over the 0-13 team, and the 0-13 decided to play well. And they just jumped on the Rams. They just jumped on them early. I mean, they're 10 up in a blink of an eye.
At some point, by second quarter, you got to wake the hell up.
Yeah, Ryan. Now the Rams aren't horrible. They just played terrible. They didn't play good. That's their worst game of the year, without a doubt. I mean, I thought Darnold was going to be running for his life with Donald, and they didn't really do that much at all.
Imagine if this is a great point by Joe D'Angelo. Imagine if you're in a survivor pool. Right. And you get to week 15, you're like, man, I got a 17-point favorite at home against
the Rams
team. Yep. Yeah, I'm good. I'm looking at week 16. And then they do that to you.
That's crushing. A lot of people got bumped this week. A lot of people.
Both teams found a way to lose this game. This is very bad. It is very bad. And if I'm a Jet fan, I am furious. And you saw the video on our page. The people on Twitter were lighting them up.
Mm-hmm.
Lighting them
Certain team lost last night, too, which I'm floored about. who played terrible as well.
Listen, we said that was a hollow 11-0, and that wasn't a shot against them. It's just like, listen, like nothing you've done's been super, super impressive, right? And then they lose that game to Washington, and all of a sudden they've dropped 3 in a row. I can forgive the Bills game because Buffalo's a good team, which we'll talk about. This is a whole new level.
You put that big chip on your shoulder, and somebody, guess what? 3 teams just knocked it off. And one of them was 2-8-1 or no?
Pittsburgh is the first team in NFL history to lose multiple games in a single season in which they started with 11 plus wins and their opponent came in with 4 or fewer.
Now, what do you put that on? Do you put that on Ben's getting a little bit long in the tooth, or do you pick that on the defense? Or they were down 17-0.
I put it on the jackass doing dances at midfield.
Yeah, and they're going to talk to him internally. Yeah, okay.
Oh, cool. Well, I got to help him now.
Because Mike Tomlin's such a hard ass with something like that he's going to go talk. I don't believe that for a heartbeat that they're going to do something. Same thing with Dwayne Haskins. They're going to talk about internally. Yeah, that's the way to say we'll get it out of the media, and we're just going to excuse it. We're going to move it aside and just move on to what we're doing.
I don't know what you do now because, like, they don't have any. They got the Colts coming up. That's not an easy game.
You lose that game, guess what? Sky's falling.
Well,
is falling fast.
We're going to talk about this. They've lost home field. I think the Chiefs need one more win or one Steeler loss, and they've locked it up. So now you're 11-0 is dead. Now you're going to miss
the Ravens. They're up on the Ravens. The Ravens have 2 losses less than them. They're 2 down, I think.
Well, the Browns are 10-4. The Ravens are 9-5. So really, they're looking at the Browns. The Browns are one win behind them.
And the Browns are taking advantage of a bad schedule.
The Browns have the Jets this week.
Yeah.
So we could be looking at a Browns and Steelers tie going into the last week of the year.
Chris, no, I don't think Haskins on a team next year. I don't think he's in the league next year.
Nah, he'll get a job. Just not there. Just not in Washington. But I don't know what you do here if you're Pittsburgh. This was the first time since 1980 that the Steelers had a 17-point deficit and shut out at the first half. Since week 6 of 1980, I wasn't even a speckle yet.
By what's this tonight? 2-11-1.
The Bengals are now. What I have it at?
We're 3-11-1 now. I think
they're 3-11-1 now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 2-11-1. 2-11-1, Brian, and they beat the Steelers. Bad without their starting quarterback.
I don't know what you do here, but again, all these people that were like Steelers this whole way were like, listen, guys, like these wins they're getting, like you don't get to apologize for winning, but they're not blowing people away.
Listen,
it goes back to the first Baltimore game when they were on the road. Baltimore should have won that game.
Well, you could say that the Cincinnati has some young receivers and Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, and they're going to be up and coming players, and that Giovanni Bernard. Okay, I'll even let you go with that, but you can't tell me this defense. There he is, Mike V joining the show. Big Mike Velarde. What's going on, Mike V?
What's up, fellas?
Welcome to the flagship. I invited your partner on, and he basically told me to go screw myself.
He can't handle the flagship. That's why.
Wow.
I was gonna make a semi joke, but then I figured it would offend you too, so I didn't want to do that.
I need to know from Mike Galletta, since I just got on, Mike, what was happening in your brain at halftime of that last game? The Bucs.
Oh, I was going nuts.
Oh, we're getting there. We'll get to that.
I was losing. I lost my mind, and I lost my fantasy league by 1 point. I had Tom Brady, and Mike Evans, and he got tackled at the 1 yard line.
So. Oh man, that's bad.
Yep.
Valar, we talked about the Jets being the dumbest organization in professional sports history. Just your quick thoughts there.
I mean, my brother-in-law has close ties to this team, so I don't know if I want to go there right now. But, I mean, I think the Jags are now cemented as the number 1 team, right? So they're going to probably lose out. So,
well, I said the other way too. I told Brian, I said, even if they were 1 or 2, I think the Jets are smarter if they get rid of this pick and trade down and get some volume and get some players, because a quarterback is not going to change their landscape. They're going to be right back in the same boat. I know Darnold is a different quarterback, obviously, than Trevor Lawrence is, but you're in the same boat again with a quarterback and nothing around them. So is he going to flourish in that system? No, they're going to have to rebuild again. And is he going to be there when they get better? I don't know. They got to get players down. They got to get an offensive line. They got to need a running back. They can't have Frank Gore running behind them. They need some defense. They need a bunch of players, Mike. The quarterback is not going to change them that much.
I know what you're saying. I get it. I just, now they have Justin Fields staring him in the face, and it's kind of like,
Yep.
I mean, Trevor Lawrence would have been a different story. Yeah, I think you take him with that pick if they're number one, but now it's kind of like, what do we do here type thing.
No, I don't think Darnold's an elite quarterback by any stretch, but I think he is okay to have if you put an offensive line in front of him, give him some weapons. He knows the system, and then you roll from there. And then down the road, if you need a quarterback, then you make the move to go to a quarterback. But you got to rebuild this team right now.
Did you just comment as yourself on there?
This is one of my favorite people to watch the show.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Tell me I'm wrong.
You're not
wrong, but they need more than a quarterback right now. They stink. They're terrible.
You get one and it helps immediately. Anyway, not to go back. So Steelers here, Mike. I think that somehow Washington broke them because they're not the same team the last couple of weeks. I can forgive the Bills loss. I can't forgive this. This is bad.
Yeah, this is not good. I mean, Juju's dancing on the logo. I mean, listen.
But they're going to talk about that internally, Mike. They're going to talk about that internally. Mike Tomlin's going to talk about it internally.
Listen, you might laugh, but that's all teams need. Teams need just a little bit of ounce of energy to – that was bad. That was not good.
You got beat by
and you saw how hard he got hit on that one play.
You got beat by a 2-11-1 team without their starting quarterback.
Yeah, that wasn't good.
Nope. But Tomlin's going to take care of it. He's going to talk to Juju internally. Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
All right.
He's the most overrated coach in the league, Mike Tomlin.
And we talked about Dwayne Haskins too going to a strip club 2 hours after the game ended. That was pretty intelligent by a kid who took a selfie at the end of one game, wasn't even done yet. So, is he in the league next year? I don't think he is. How do you pick him up as a team, as a backup quarterback when he does stuff like that? You don't want him in the news every week.
Yeah, it's not good either.
Oh. No, it's terrible.
Yeah, I agree. I got you.
And then you got Deshaun Watson's opening of his.
You want to talk
for that? It's.
You want to talk about guys who won't be in the league next year? I got one for you. So Cam Newton's not going to be in the league next year.
He'll be the backup somewhere.
I don't think so. Coming into the season, I said he has so much pressure on him because if you can't win with Bill Belichick, you can't win. And for the first time since 2008, the New England Patriots have been eliminated from postseason contention.
Yep.
The 11 straight seasons was an NFL record.
I just got a little tingle inside.
Because the Pats are out?
I just don't like them. I don't care if Eileen's on the
well, yeah, but that's because
I just don't like them. I think
listen, they ended up winning Super Bowl.
They're a very overrated franchise / organization that obviously Tom Brady was the driving force of all of those teams. Okay. Belichick can't win without him. I'm going to sit here and say it. I don't care. And you can disagree with me all you want, but the quarterback and somebody was saying it today on Get Up. Once Bruce Arians stopped calling the plays in the first half, you saw what Tom did on his own at the end of that game.
Yeah. Against a bad Atlanta defense, which he exposed in the second half.
But again, who wants Cam Newton now?
I wouldn't want him.
Not a lot of people. He'll back up somewhere though.
Is there a chance? I'm gonna throw this out there because that's who I am. Is there a chance that Carson Wentz is a Patriot next year?
No.
On the cheap.
Yeah.
Why do you say no, Mike?
I don't think
you don't think Belichick with the head that he has can turn that guy around.
I think it's going to come down to the Colts or even maybe the Niners because I think the Niners are going to move on from Jimmy G.
What better situation would you have that you have an 8? If Newton's not going to be there next year, who's the quarterback of that team?
He's a lot of money. A lot of money.
Do they really? Money aside, I'm talking about teams that actually need a quarterback.
Yeah, I mean,
one.
Sure, they could use them.
They're going to need one.
You got a lot of guys there on defense and a couple guys on offense that are making big time money. So, I mean, Edelman, I think, is up next year or the year after. So, I mean, you're going to have to pony up for him. White, I think, is on the last year of a deal. I mean, yeah, you want to just say opportunity wise? Yeah, sure, he can go to the Patriots. I think and we'll get
to the Eagles game.
Yeah,
I will touch on that for the Eagles game. Ryan, we said he'd be a great Jet. Listen, Pats are out of the playoffs. I mean, listen, as far as the AFC goes, it's a new dawning. It's a new day, and you're not going to see postseason football with anybody from Foxborough in there. And listen, it's Bill's got to refix this roster. I mean, look, you don't have a quarterback. You got to fix that. Would he do better with a quarterback? Probably. Cam Newton stinks. I've been saying that the whole time. He started out 2 couple games. Oh, look at this,
Brian. We said that in preseason. We thought at camp that he stinks. So
he's just
awful.
He's not
awful.
He's not. If you're a Falcons fan, I mean, you probably had deja vu because here you are with a double-digit lead in the third quarter against Tom Brady, and then you lose.
Yep.
So
ate him up in the second half. Took the first half off.
It felt like, listen, it's just Super Bowl. You have a huge. I'm surprised I didn't see a tweet.
Oh, Redbird.
That guy. I hope.
He probably jumped off a bridge.
But the point was, look, Atlanta's not a playoff team. You know, they got a head coaching position to fill. Neither here nor there. The Bucs absolutely, positively needed this win, and frankly, Mike, their first half was pretty piss poor.
Oh, awful! I thought they were done, and the way they played in the first half, I think Brady didn't even get in a triple-digit, offense with himself. Awful. Had Leonard Fournette running the ball. They were throwing Vaughn in there, giving him more carries to try to get him rolling. Yeah, it was bad. It was real bad. I was really concerned. I'm like, they had this opportunity to need this win. The Saints lost. I mean, it was before the Saints game, but they still needed that win to try to keep pace with the Saints, and they're going to blow it. And they came out in the second half and luckily picked it up and they won. So
this has nothing to do with anything, but North Carolina just lost to North Carolina State, by the way. That's your basketball team, North Carolina. Brian T.
Awesome.
Wow. But listen, I there was a little deja vu in that Falcons game. Honestly, I thought the Falcons were going to beat them. But what was I thinking?
If you don't understand now, anybody doesn't understand that they need defense with this team after some of the crap they've been through in the last 2 or 3 years. I don't know what you're watching with the Falcons because their defense stinks.
Yeah,
their defense is awful.
I agree.
Mike, your thoughts on Gronk?
I think they're finally using them properly. They're getting the ball now. In the beginning of the year, they weren't getting the ball at all. I mean, he's not getting 10, 11 catches a game, which I didn't think he would, but they're using him more in good situations to bail out Brady, which is great. And he's getting comfortable with him. You see that. So it only get better from here. Can only get better. Antonio Brown even scored this week.
I mean,
imagine that.
But the thing about Tampa, Mike, is like they're not going to catch New Orleans at this point. So you're stuck into a wild card. I don't think they can miss the playoffs. So they're kind of in this like weird purgatory where it really doesn't matter what you do right now because you're going to have a road game.
I mean, they can technically catch New Orleans. New Orleans has to lose out and they have to win out.
They're not going to lose out.
I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, Bucs have a favorable schedule, but I think New Orleans plays the Vikings tomorrow night or Thursday night, so they'll probably beat them. But yeah, I mean, this is going to be the first time he gets into the wild card. It's going to be interesting to see how he plays on the road with this team that has been, fueled up to make a run this year. So we'll see.
Again, I don't really.
Was it more the Bucs winning this game in the second half or the Falcons losing this game?
I'll ask you that.
I'm going to say more the Bucs, I think, because they did throw some long passes. He was getting the ball downfield. They were moving the ball a little bit. And like Mike said, when Arians, gave over the call, the play call to Tom, it started to click. He started to get comfortable in there. So,
yeah, Gronk getting more ball complete attempts. So,
yeah,
good stuff there.
You don't need to get him the ball 12 or 14 times a game, maybe 7 or 8, and that's fine.
Cardinals get the win over the Eagles. This game was a pretty exciting game, actually. It was a lot closer than I think many people thought it was. The Cardinals still found a way to cover because they got the touchdown at the end, but the Eagles were definitely in this game. Look, the quarterback change has obviously sparked the offense, but the question you have to ask yourself is why is that? Because it seems as though they're definitely running a different plays with the different quarterback, and you would probably think that they probably should have ran different plays with the old quarterback to maybe accentuate his strengths. They chose not to do that. Velarde, where are you on Jalen Hurts now? I only had asked before, are you out on Wentz? Are you ready for the change here? And we've detailed their salary cap situation is a complete abject disaster coming into next year. They are $270 million in total cap, and the cap's going to be 175, we think. That's a lot of money to cut, and they really can't do it even if they move on from Wentz. So just your overall temperature of the team right now.
As a fan, as an Eagles fan, I love what Hurts is bringing to the team. I don't want to say I gave up on Wentz yet, but now that the news is coming out that he doesn't want to be a backup, he's quitting on the team, he's this, that, and the other. Now I kind of look back and I think about all the stuff that supposedly Alshon Jeffrey said about him, and about the locker room being a cancer, and he's the person bringing everybody down. Based on performance, Jalen Hurts is playing really well. I know it's 2 games, but the offense is moving the ball. They're actually scoring points. And this was something that Wentz couldn't do. Bring it back to the Super Bowl year and 2018 when he had his good years. I mean, yes, at the end of last year, he played significantly better, and everybody keeps saying, well, he doesn't have the weapons. I don't agree with that. I think he's got enough weapons, and the play calling has changed when Hurts got in the lineup. Miles Sanders is Miles Sanders again, and that dual threat is there. He gives you the option to run. He gives you the option to throw. He had 400 yards total offense himself yesterday or Sunday. But the problem is what everybody has in their mind about how much money Wentz is making. That's what this is all about. That's exactly what it's all about. It's not who's playing better. It's, oh my God, we owe this guy $77 million. Where are we going to put him? We can't trade him because nobody will take the money on. We're not going to get anything in return for him. That's the biggest problem. If you're looking at who's performing better, there's no question. Hurts has performed better. He deserves to start the last 4 games. So, I mean, that is just plain and simple.
I think Wentz has kind of cut his own throat by coming out saying after 2 games that he doesn't want to be here anymore. I mean, listen, if he doesn't want to be here, that's fine. Be quiet, be a good soldier, root for Hurts. Then at the end of the year, you worry about it in the offseason. I don't think he did himself any justice by saying it now. 2 games into 2 games left in the season that, I want out now.
Who's the more talented player?
Listen, I've said this the last couple of weeks, and I know Wentz is far removed from college, but was he ever on the big stage in college at North Dakota State?
North Dakota State,
no. You had Jalen Hurts in 2 national championship games. He was with Alabama. Alabama says, you know what? You're not good enough. You lost 2 games in your career. We're going to move on from you and take a freshman over you. They sent him to Oklahoma. He has a Heisman-type year at Oklahoma. The kid has played in the SEC, the best conference in football. I don't care what Paul McCree says. The ACC is not the best conference in football. And players that come out of the SEC, they are primed and ready for the big time. And I think that he is just a smarter athlete right now, and he's put in a better position. And I think Doug, listen, they took him in the 2nd round for a reason. They had to have thought he was going to play quarterback at some point. It makes no sense to make him a slasher or whatever they wanted to make him.
Well, but the thing – see, here's the thing. This is like – the en vogue thing in the NFL right now is like this running quarterback nonsense. Like it's like it goes through cycles, right? Remember like the one year, like, oh, it's the Wildcat, and like everybody and their mothers running Wildcat plays, and then that died out, right?
Vic was actually successful in that system,
but the game adjusts.
It did.
Coordinators adjust to that, and then they stop doing it. And I think that we're in that like sweet spot right now for these, not like Vic. Vic was his own thing, right? But like we're in like that sweet spot right now where you have a quarterback who can do like, design runs, and that's his thing. And that can be successful right now. That's going to be schemed against. And these quarterbacks are going to have to actually throw the ball consistently and well. You look at Lamar Jackson, for example. Like Lamar Jackson is an electric player, right? Totally, you remember Michael Vick. I mean, those games were must-see TV. I mean, it was great football, and you couldn't stop watching it. It was exciting, but they never won shit, right? So then you look at him now, when the Ravens go down in a game, they're not coming back because they're not built to come back in a game because they can't air it out the way a Packers team can or a Chiefs team can. Like they're just built differently. And you can talk about Aaron Rodgers and you say, well, he's a little mobile. Look, they don't call runs for Aaron Rodgers, right? Just a completely different quarterback, but they can get back in games. I'm not going to put the guy in Canton the same way I'm not going to walk away from what I think Wentz is a very talented quarterback. I think it's a bad situation for him, and it just gets worse every time you turn. I think he can go somewhere else and be very good. Is Hurts a quarterback in the future? Yeah, maybe, but it's still going to be a cat disaster next year. And then at some point, he's going to need a deal. But he has to actually throw the ball. Like, you can start piling up yards against prevent defense, and that's great and everything, but that's just not real life all the time. So, yes, first 2 games, I don't think you can ask them to have gone better. These numbers where, he's the first quarterback to throw for 400 yards and run for 150 his first 2 games. Okay, that's because he's running for 150, not the 400 yards. I mean, it's 200 yards a game. Like, that's not really that impressive. Okay, but like when you start putting in the total offense with the running, like, I get it. I don't think that wins. I don't think that wins in the NFL. I think pocket passers win, frankly. I think that if you look at the guys who win Super Bowls, they're the ones that can air it out and put up a ton of points.
You're going to know about Hurts next year. You're going to know about Hurts next year because, again, every rookie, and I go by this logic.
I'm not convinced he gets the job next year yet.
Well, if he's there. Okay.
Well, I'm not convinced that Wentz doesn't get this job back in September. I don't know how likely it is, but I'm not convinced it's dead either.
A rookie quarterback will always take a step back. It's a matter of it's a big step or a tiny step. That's going to be the adjustment because then they'll have film. They can scheme for him. They can leave a guy spy on him. They can kind of adjust it all. And you see if the quarterback can adjust. If he can adjust, he's going to be fine. If he can't adjust, he's going to struggle. And that's going to be the issue with him. But we'll see. You know, he's only played 2 games. He's played 2 well. And we'll see how this keeps going.
Listen, the acquisition or not the acquisition of drafting Justin Jefferson is going to bite them in the ass. Yep. And you see he made the Pro Bowl as a rookie. And they can say all they want to say about they didn't want to give up their second-round pick because they wanted to take Hurts. Hurts would have been there in the 3rd round, I think, for their pick. Mm-hmm. This is a problem, okay? Rager, they thought they were getting Tyreek Hill Jr., apparently. I don't know.
Tyreek Hill was he a 5th-round pick, though?
No, I'm saying skill-wise.
No, but wasn't Tyreek Hill a 5th-round pick?
I don't know the exact.
He wasn't very early.
But my thing is like they wanted somebody who could be a punt returner and a wide receiver, like Deshaun Jackson almost. That's who they thought they were drafting here.
5th-round pick,
instead of taking the more polished person and the person who was ready to play. Justin Jefferson was at LSU, catch a pass from Joe Burrow. He wasn't in the Pac-12 or wherever, or TCU, wherever the hell Rager is. But come on, give me the established player. Give me the established player.
Mountain West.
They think that they're like being. Oh my God, we got this treasure in the second round, first round, second. Come on, guys.
Jeremy says Carson Wentz there. Listen, I hope he doesn't. I think it is a massive mistake. So I hope he doesn't. I hope he goes somewhere else. I'll buy his jersey. I think the world of that kid. He's in a completely impossible spot.
Yeah.
And you can say whatever you want to. Oh, he's soft. He's this. Listen, like quarterback. Orlovsky said, or quarterbacks are a different breed. Like that's got to be his team, and it's never been his team. Going back to his ACL, he's never had a spot. Whether you agree with it or not, whether you think it's soft, it's millennial, whatever you want to say. Like he's never had it since he tore his knee up against the Rams. There has never been a spot where you know what? That's your job, kid. It's never been that way.
Listen, I understand that they took a quarterback in the 2nd round, whatever. But if that really hurts your feelings, you got an issue, especially with a $100 million contract.
Now here's the problem with this one, all right? And now the problem with this is if I'm going away from Dak, I don't want to give Wentz money either. Like I want to get a quarterback that I'm cost controlled for 4 years. That's the whole point because their cap's a disaster. I think he could do very well in Dallas. I'm on record. I've said this. Wentz has done more with less because that Eagles roster is terrible than Dak has done in Dallas where the offense is very good, where he has protection, where he has a running back and he has receivers for the ball too. Coaching is a disaster on both sides. I would take him in Dallas. I don't know how the money would work if you take him as far as what it is. I mean, if the money's right, I would have no qualms about it because I don't think it's him. I really don't. Was he playing well? Absolutely not. But the same way that there are people who are going to say Jalen Hurts is the second coming of Christ are the same ones that are going to say, well, the Carson Wentz stinks in the smallest freaking sample size you want to pick. Like you are completely sensationalizing it, right? Hurts looked great for 2 games. Guess what? They lost the second one. So it's like, okay, this put him in Canton, get his bust ready. Meanwhile, Wentz has a couple bad games with nobody around him and injuries all over the offensive line. He stinks. Okay, fine. But like you can't react like that.
I think it came down to how bad he's looked. He's taking sacks. He's throwing interceptions at a high clip. The turnover ratio he has is terrible. The thing is Hurts is in the same offense. Hurts is in the same offense, and he's not doing that.
I'm not going to name names, okay? But when Wentz was getting sacked, oh, look how bad Wentz is. When Hurts is getting sacked, it was the offensive line's fault.
But when's Hurts getting sacked? Is he getting sacked as much as Wentz is?
He in Arizona, but he could run around. I mean, it's a little different. I mean, if your offensive line is that bad, then yeah, you can run around and escape it.
But it's still and Wentz did that too before his ACLs.
Listen, and to be fair, we don't know what his long-term we don't know what that injury did to him longer term. And they rushed him back. We discussed that. So I don't spend this show in this game, but I'm just like, it's a topic that won't die because it just keeps coming up. And it's just like, I'm on record. I'm not giving up on Carson Wentz. If the Eagles want to, great. I don't care. I hope they do. I hope he goes somewhere else with a much more capable team around him and goes and wins something. Like, if you stick him in Indianapolis, they're a much better team, period.
Obviously. But if you watch the whole game like I did and most Eagles fans did, you could really see the offense. Like, he was getting the rookie wide receivers involved. He was throwing to Fulgham, who never got the ball before the last 2-3 games that Wentz was there. It's like they took other people out. Was it a game plan thing? Was it Wentz just not throwing them the ball? Alshon Jeffrey looks like he's a better receiver now that Hurts is throwing the ball. I mean, he's still sting. I don't want him on my team, but the offense in general looks much better with him.
I think Jalen moves out of the pocket more and gets out of that pocket, whereas Carson Wentz didn't really move out of the pocket that much. He did, but it just popped around him.
See now, but Anthony, this is an excellent point, and I've said this. A lot of it is mental with Wentz, and I do think a change of scenery fixes that. Mm-hmm. He is trying to or not to make a mistake out there because he probably feels if I don't do it, nobody else will.
But listen, he was on a huge leash, dude. He was on a huge leash. He had 12 games and last year to figure this out when they
went to the playoffs last year.
Barely.
I'm the first person to tell you I don't even care about that because a quarter league wins a division and they won a division. But to be fair, they did. Dak Prescott didn't go to the playoffs last year with a better team around him. I'm just saying, like, you have to like account for that. If Carson Wentz is in Chicago right now, they're a 12-win team. I don't see how they're not. And they don't really have much better offensive players, in my opinion, than the Eagles do. I mean, I like Allen Robinson, but Anthony Miller hasn't really lit the world on fire. I mean, I like Cole Kmet longer term. This kid's still a rookie.
Notre Dame.
That's why I did that. But I'm just saying, like, there's spots he can go, and I think he's in a better position. I think the Eagles are a cap disaster, and I don't know how you fix that. Obviously. Next year's a total disaster, in my opinion. On the Arizona side of things, though, good win. Just to give a little dap here to Kyler Murray, I have the number here. Kyler Murray's 13-5 when he runs the ball 6 or more times, 0-11-1 with 5 or fewer carries. And that's the secret for their winning. That should be concerning, though, because like I said, I'm not necessarily a huge fan when you surround your offense and build it around a running quarterback. You should use that to your advantage when it's there for you. But when you build it into your offense, I just think it doesn't help you.
The guy I lost to in fantasy had Murray. And I think they ran the ball 10 times the whole game. Every time I saw it, they were throwing the ball downfield.
Because nobody could stop DeAndre Hopkins. That's why.
I don't know if Ryan Leach is still out there, but again, full credit here.
Calamari.
Yeah, you know what's funny? Aqib Talib actually messaged ATD Radio, our friends over there, and he's like, really? You racist. And I know Tom. Tom is as far as from that.
Can I just tell you that Aqib Talib, that might have been the worst broadcast I've ever heard out of a guy in my life.
No, but like, off the street. The fact is that he messaged them and basically said that. And then I know those guys. Those guys are great guys. That's not even on the table there, but that's his reaction.
Why did he message them?
Because they posted a meme where it was like, where I guess he was saying something dumb. So right. Aqib Talib, I guess, called them racist.
Really?
Which they're not. I mean, I'll stick my neck out for them. They're not.
You called them on Twitter?
Instagram.
That's great.
Yeah, I'll stick my neck out for Tom. I know Tom's as far from that as possible. So I just thought it was funny. Anyway, Buffalo Bills.
Oh, I had a stab at Arizona. I saw on telecast that Kyler Murray is like the first player in NFL history to have a rushing touchdown and a passing touchdown in I think he's done it 7 or 8 times in the same game, where he's rushed for a touchdown and thrown a touchdown in the same game. And listen, do you think he's a prototypical quarterback for his size? You put DeAndre Hopkins on his team. You see how many catches he made the last game, and what kind of catches he made.
Yes.
Throw the ball in his area, he's going to catch the ball. And that is somebody that Wentz has never had. I will give him that. He's never had a guy you could just throw the ball up to and say, "Here you go."
Well, they sure as hell paid Alshon like he was.
Well, he's not. Yeah, in the Super Bowl year he was.
Buffalo Bills win the division. First time since 1995, just a dominant win over the Broncos. I mean, that was a dismantling, right?
Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
Where right now do you put them in the AFC? Because right now, I think they are absolutely the number 2 team in the AFC behind the Chiefs. And I think there's a gap now because they beat the Steelers. The Steelers are falling apart. And I don't know who else you put behind them. But I think right now, if we're looking at a Chiefs-Bills AFC title game, that's good football.
I'll tell you what, I know it's maybe a little premature. I love the Titans. I think the Titans are playing really good. Derrick Henry is very good, man. Mm-hmm. He's hard to stop. And if their defense plays well, that team can surprise. Ryan Tannehill has had you want to talk about a resurgence from when he was at Miami? Yeah. What a player he's been.
I'll tell you what, don't sleep on the Colts either. That Colts defense is really good, and they're playing better. I mean, T.Y. Hilton's involved now in the offense, and now Jonathan Taylor's back, and he's running the ball well too. So the Colts can be up there too as well. But
I do agree. The job that Sean McDermott's done with Buffalo has been fantastic, and he's a defensive guy. They've always had a decent defense, but they can never find that quarterback. And they go draft a quarterback out of Wyoming of all places, and he's their guy. And he's the Jim Kelly years might be back. So that's how good they're playing.
They lost 4 Super Bowls. I don't think they want that.
Didn't we have somebody high on him on this show when he first came in a rookie?
I don't have the Donald Duck meme.
That's right. This guy.
I like that meme. It's on here. You have it on here.
I do?
I think so.
I don't know if I have it on this show or not.
Hey, Mike, how solid was it to take UCF tonight?
From what I just saw, that's not a very good pick.
No, they're at 42-10 right now.
Yeah.
They're getting waxed. So they punted again too, so I can watch more misery. So it's great.
I haven't been watching much tonight, so
yeah, they're getting slaughtered.
Yeah, I don't have it. Oh, did I do that? Nope.
No, I like that.
Oh, you like that one? All right, real quick.
We have breaking news here on the Sports Box.
The NFL has told Seahawks receiver Josh Gordon he has not satisfied all the terms of his conditional reinstatement. He is not eligible to practice or play just yet.
It's a guarantee that he will be smoking weed tonight. Guaranteed. He will get drug tested again.
The guy's had 6 chances. He shouldn't even be in the conversation of this right now. So
he's done.
Yeah,
he's done. Why? It amazes me. I mean, I know the kid is a talent, but it amazes me how many chances this guy has had.
I mean,
you know what's something? I want to go back to one thing with the Bills, right? And I said this was week 3. That game against the Rams where they had that big lead and blew it, and then they found a way to win. I said that's going to be big for them longer term because they're not going to let teams back in games. And they really haven't. Like the games that Arizona maybe looked at, and that loss to Arizona, look, just a great play, right? But look out for them. Do I think they can beat the Chiefs? Probably not, realistically. I think the Chiefs are the best team in football. I don't think it's close. But I think that they're in a discussion to get to a title game. Like I think Buffalo is a tough place to play in the winter anyway. So that's going to be if you have to go to Kansas City, I think it's asking a lot of any team to go in there and win a playoff game.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, Orchard Park hasn't been the site of a playoff game since when? 95?
Bills Mafia. They're nuts.
Somebody said the Bills have the best fan base in the NFL, which
that's Ryan Leach, who's part of that fan base.
I don't know about that.
Because listen, I could throw somebody through a table and say I'm the best too, but
yeah.
Listen,
Eagles,
listen, I don't know about the Bills fan base, but I'm just speaking from experience from the Eagles fan base. The Eagles fan base, when there were crowds, the Eagles fan base travels well better than I think than any other team in the NFL to go watch games away and be at the airport for teams that have done well and won things. Now, listen, the Bills haven't won anything in a while. You know, Josh Allen is like Superman to them right now, and for great reasons. The Bills are one of those teams where I don't think anybody hates the Bills. I think the people may want to see the Bills beat the Chiefs. You know what I mean? So that there's somebody different on the top of the mound.
Mike, why don't you take Paul up to Buffalo for a weekend? You could throw him through a table.
I would love to throw my co-host through about 10 tables. And Brian would too.
You can light a little fire too, like ECW, and just throw.
I was like, hey, want to come to the show? You want to come to the show? No.
I'm going to light Paul on fire.
Cowboys get a win.
41-33.
Yay!
Similar score.
They end up 5-9 like the Niners, and sports director Brian Attard is furious.
Can't wait. The draft picks higher than
absolutely furious.
Yeah. Lower than the Eagles, I should say.
What's that, 6? They're picking 6 now?
I think they're picking 9th now. I don't even know.
Wow, they're not more well.
See, but this is what I'm talking about. Why? Why are you winning?
Because they don't know any better. They don't care.
They don't care. They want to throw games. I mean, they want to win.
Look, but you know what, though, Mike? You want to tell me Adam Gase goes and wins because he's not going to have a job next year?
No,
Fine.
the players have incentives. They got to win.
Coming back.
Players have incentives, and they got stats they got to keep, and they got to get more money. So that's why they're trying to win.
0 Pro Bowlers for the first time since '89.
Listen, how many guys are not going to be in Dallas next year? They don't care. They don't care. They'll pad the stats and get their stats, leave. They don't care where Dallas is going. So
it just look. We can discuss this. It's just stupid. That's all. It's dumb. It's dumb. You're only hurting yourself.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say.
I don't either. And we've been down. We've been down this rodeo before, Mike, with him. I don't know.
If you think I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong.
You've been making the same point about the Cowboys, so I don't know. I don't really know.
Yeah,
I'm not saying you're right or I'm not saying you're wrong. I just are they gonna stick with Dak?
I don't think they can.
I think they're gonna play him.
They can't.
After that injury too?
They can't.
Jerry Jones is not crazy shit.
Look, we talk about the Eagles cap, and rightfully so. Cowboys cap is not in a good situation right now at all.
No, but Jerry will try to find make it work. You know him; he's crazy. He'll sign Dak for a deal. I could see that. I could say it. Don't say, Brian, it's out of the ordinary. I could say it.
But
you would lose your mind. But
Mike, I hear you. But numbers don't lie. Like, you have these salary cap commitments, which you did to yourself, by the way, because you're paying your running back $100 million. He looks terrible right now because the offensive line's not good. So let's back that out. So now you're telling me, Mr. Elliott, you're a product of your offensive line, which I've said since you've been in the league. And now since they're not good, you're not good. Why am I paying you? What do you bring to the table? Because I could do anybody behind the offensive line and be fine.
Well, once that line's 100% healthy, though, he's going to be a beast again.
Pay the line then. Don't pay him.
Not to change the subject here, but like I said, I haven't been on my computer a lot since this afternoon. But what is there like a banter going on between Tony Dungy and Tom Brady?
Yeah.
He said he's the 6th best quarterback that he's coached against.
6th best.
He said he put Aaron Rodgers, John Elway, Steve Young, and guys who can move ahead of Brady. So Brady puts up a thing on his wall: 2014 AFC finalist, the Colts banner.
Listen. I saw Elway play. Elway's a great quarterback, but Brady's better than Elway. You got to give Brady the accolades. The guy's won 6 titles. I mean,
you got to take Aaron Rodgers, Brady.
Yeah, I think he is.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers over Brady.
I think so. Look, but not just because he's a buck. Not just because he's a buck. I'm just going to say, look at his resume. He's got 6 titles, MVPs.
No, I'm saying would you take Aaron Rodgers over Brady?
Right now, yeah. Right now, yeah. Career-wise, I'm just ranking him. I say Brady's above Rodgers.
I don't know. Listen, Aaron Rodgers didn't have anything sort of what Brady had. I mean, as a dominant force, he didn't have Gronk. He didn't have the Edelman.
He had Jabbar Gaffney with him when he won a Super Bowl. How good is Jabbar Gaffney?
We're all over the place tonight. But listen, I'm telling you, Peyton Manning was a more talented quarterback than Tom Brady. Now, you can say Brady won. I'm not going to ever dispute that. Talent-wise, Manning's the best I've ever seen.
I think so, too.
Yeah, Manning was good.
Now, that hasn't necessarily translated.
I mean, but you could make that case, too. Well, he had Reggie Wayne, he had Marvin Harrison, he had,
Yeah, but you know what? See, but Mike, I don't necessarily know that we think of them the way we think of them if Peyton Manning's not their quarterback. I think he made them.
But listen,
so right now, you would say Brady's not the number one quarterback of all time, right?
I think Montana's better than him, regardless.
Really?
That's just my point.
I think he passed him when he won the last Super Bowl.
Well, you got a guy who went 4-0, never threw an interception in a Super Bowl, and how many MVP? I don't think MVP, but Super Bowl MVPs. But
look at the comeback that Brady had in the last Super Bowl.
But listen, that was almost like the Patriot way. That was almost like that was expected for them to come back. You know what I mean? Like,
but
listen, I made the case for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
give me two top receivers besides Devontae Adams that he has had in his career.
He's had who was he wasn't there for Sterling Sharp. That was Favre, right?
No.
Okay.
You could literally sit there and say
Greg Jennings,
he had some good tight ends there. Jermichael Finley was good, and he had
Rodgers made those guys.
That's what I'm saying. If I'm sitting here and I'm picking a quarterback, I mean, listen, but like we said, Brady had Gronk, he had Edelman. Even though they're not more studs, he did have Randy Moss for a while. They weren't studs, but he still had bigger named guys to help him. And like I said, that was his team. I still think that he made Belichick. And it's just my opinion. I think that he was the driving force behind all them championships.
I don't think you can knock Brady or rank him below Rodgers because of the weapons that he had or didn't have. I mean, you rank a quarterback the way he did. I mean, he's done some phenomenal stuff in New England. Yeah, that's his team. He's done some phenomenal stuff.
I look at guys like Reggie Wayne and Marvin Harrison, and I say, you know who they are because of Peyton Manning. I just think, and again, Jordy Nelson, Greg Jennings, these guys that were great in Green Bay, you know who they are because of Aaron Rodgers.
And to be clear, again, I'm not saying this, and I'm not defending Brady because he's a Buck now. That's not my mantra at all. I'm just saying from the whole.
You need to warn him.
He's had the career in New England. I mean, he's done some phenomenal stuff, and I know we've seen a lot of them, but it's just I think he's and Montana was a great quarterback too. There's a lot of guys over the history that are great quarterbacks. I just think his resume speaks for itself with all the titles he has and say what he has, who he's had, and stuff like that. He still had to generate some people and generate the offense for that team.
If Drew Bledsoe doesn't take that hit, are we even talking about Tom Brady?
You can say the same thing about Pelly Lindbergh doesn't die. You say the same thing about Ron Hextall. I mean, it is what it is. Look at Trent Green.
It's a little different though when you have six Super Bowl wins.
Well, look at Trent Green. If Trent Green doesn't get hurt, does the Iowa Barnstormer Kurt Warner come in and lead that best team on turf to what they did?
Well, I think the best team on turf was winning the Super Bowl regardless of who was the quarterback on that team.
Now, Warner had a good career too.
Marshall Faulk was the guy in that.
Yeah. We'll roll through a couple games here. Listen, Titans get a win they needed over Detroit. That was my survivor pick of the week. No surprise whatsoever.
Henry only had 146.
Still in the survivor pool?
Yeah.
Like, aren't you at the end of that almost?
There's 5 teams left. There was 6 up until the Steelers lost.
What's that payout?
It was only like $1,200 for the whole thing. So probably ended up getting split by 5. It's only $25. I haven't used the Chiefs or Ravens yet.
Excellent.
So I got to use the Chiefs this week now because they may just mail it in week 17.
Yeah,
maybe.
Is there anything any shot Atlanta goes into KC and wins?
No.
Okay. Well, there you go. I'll keep the Ravens for a game they're going to need next week.
He had Torrey Holt. He had Isaac Bruce. He had. You want to talk about weapons? Everywhere that guy looked, he had weapons. But yes, he did throw dimes. Titans. I love Derrick Henry. I like Ryan Tannehill. I literally think that they have a squad. AJ Brown's very good. I mean, they have a squad where they can make a run.
So, Brian, what's your theory? You wouldn't have paid Henry this year coming into this year. You're nuts.
Well, what I will say is
the guy's a monster.
But in the grand scheme of things, Mike, I think that he got less money than I thought he would. Like, it's a contract that, like, I don't love it because I think by the end of it, there's going to have some problems. But what I will say is that it did come in less than I anticipated.
That is an absolute run-heavy team, and they need a guy like Derrick Henry to carry the load.
Dominique Foxworth and Orlovsky and Marcus Spears were talking today, and they said Tony Pollard is a better fit on that team. He just brings more energy. He doesn't fumble as much.
Dallas?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Said Tony Pollard right now. Just he's a better running back, and
he's looking at
pay Elliott the money
because he's looking to get more time and he wants to keep a roster spot. That's exactly why he's playing the way he is. He knows he's got a spot.
You don't pay running backs.
Anthony Media, Kurt. Yeah. So I mean, listen. We're talking about the Packers, the Eagles. You pay Miles Sanders. Should the Packers pay Aaron Jones? I think no across the board.
Listen, you can get a running back in the 5th, 6th, 7th round.
That's right.
And they can do whatever and they can do that. And listen, I kind of feel differently about Derrick Henry. Like he's going to be a player for the next 5 years.
Should have been a Cowboy.
Who makes that team? They're a run-heavy team first. They run the ball more than probably any other team in the league.
Jalen Ramsey, Derrick Henry.
There are 1, 2, or 3 guys that you pay the money to. And
Jalen Ramsey, Derrick Henry. Chicago Bears get a win. These were 2 6-win teams. The Bears moved to 7-7. And listen, this was pretty much a playoff game because you got to figure one of these 2 teams gets a wild card. And I think the Bears last couple of weeks, the offense has really woken up better than you thought it would be. I mean, you want to give it to Trubisky, that's fine. I don't, but that's okay.
Their defense is playing better. Their defense is pretty stout in that game. You want to say they put up the Vikings put up 27, but
Brent Favre?
Who is Brent Favre?
Who's Brent Favre? And where's number 6 at? You went right this from 5 to 7. What happened, Jeremy? Come on, bud. But we do have Jeremy. Bro, we do have the Eagles chant if we ever need to. Yeah,
we can fire that up if we ever need to.
I mean, I do have it here.
Mm-hmm. Surprisingly,
that's an all-time. It's an all-time great. Anthony Miller, they're running the ball. Well, yeah. And listen, when the defense has not been overly great the last couple of games, but they found ways to put some wins on the board. Give them credit. I think they're probably a playoff team now for a game. That's about it.
Yep.
I don't think they win a game. I mean, if they have to go up, if they have to go face the Saints or the Packers, that's a loss.
Yeah. If
they have to go face the Rams or Seahawks, still probably a loss. Seattle got a win. Go to 20-15. They beat Washington. Washington falls 6-8. They still have the inside track to the NFC East if you care. I sure don't. Seahawks are at 10-4. Again, I think that the Rams lose. Listen, that game now is a monumental game this week with the Rams and the Seahawks because the Rams have done that to themselves because they had every opportunity to put the Jets away. Didn't do that. So now they got to win in Seattle. We'll see what happens there.
You talk about dimes. Haskins was throwing more dimes 2 hours after the game than he was during the game. So
yeah,
smart right in there. So
Ravens, Jags. Ravens was just an obliteration of the Jags, who have lost 14 consecutive games. The Ravens have won 8 games by 20 or more points since 2019. That's the most in the league. But they were winning this game. They were never losing this game. And I think that I think they played really well in Cleveland. I think they found a way to win that game. It's a game they probably had to win. Again, they're a 9-win team right now. They need to get themselves to at least 10 to have a playoff chance. And it's a very, very tight. That AFC, that the wild cards are tight right now because you have the 9-win Ravens, you have the Browns that are there. The Raiders have fallen off a little bit, but they're still in that discussion. We'll see where that is. I think the Ravens probably they needed to win.
The only time this year I did not play James Robinson in my flex, I played Cam Akers and I lost by a point.
See, Robinson's you gotta start him. Robinson's like
Cam Akers against the Jets too. You think Cam Akers against the Jets would be a good play? I mean,
not They spread the ball around. The Chiefs are the third team to win all of their road games in a year after winning the Super Bowl. That's pretty good.
It's a cover too, wasn't it? New Orleans getting 3 and a hook.
I don't remember that specifically. Probably.
Yep. Sure.
Listen, Saints get a loss here, but listen, it's against the Chiefs. You don't really feel too bad about that. But Chiefs just humming along. What are you going to say?
Yep.
Humming along. And then Sunday night, Browns, they beat the Giants. Listen, they're Mayfield 8-1 against non-divisional opponents, just 2-3 in the division. So we'll see who they play in the playoffs, but that's telling. They can't beat Baltimore and Pittsburgh. That's going to be a problem.
Well, I'm not saying the Browns are awful, but they're taking advantage of a bad schedule, which is good for them. They got to beat teams they're supposed to beat.
If you're Cleveland, do you care?
So do the Steelers. The Steelers played the easiest schedule in the NFL, and now look at them. They're 11-3, and the Browns are going to win.
I don't understand how the Steelers get the easiest schedule in the NFL. That's crazy, but
Browns have a chance to win that division.
Yeah.
We'll wrap this up for the show here. We got hockey. They've come to an agreement. January 13th, I believe, is going to kick off the season, a 56-game abbreviated season. There's been a realignment with the division, so you're going to be pretty much playing only your division in the regular season. For some teams like Tampa, I think it helps them. For some teams like the teams in the Metro, I think it hurts them. It's going to be
that's for travel purposes too, I think.
Sure, they want to just contain everything. Yeah. Just your thoughts generally. Are you excited for it? Is it going to be weird in home arenas? I mean, we guess we're used to it from the bubble, but I mean, I look at the team, and we're going to have an NHL preview, so keep your eyes out for that. But I think the Metro is the toughest division by a mile.
Did you get your tickets for this year, Brian?
We're not going to games. So I'm going to save some serious money.
I'm happy it's coming back. I mean, it's hockey. I'm a hockey guy. I like when they play again. So we'll see.
I'm ready.
Oh God, hope we get hurt the first game.
That's fine. It's not about this year.
I mean, I usually hope death on the guy, but I'm not going to.
No, I don't wish death on him. I just hope he gets hurt enough to be out for the year.
Broken leg in the first game will be difficult.
That's all.
Yeah. What are your guys' thoughts on helmet ads in the NHL? So this was approved. A couple of teams like the Devils, the Capitals are doing it.
I heard Wawa for Flyers.
You knew it was coming. I mean, they're trying to generate money. So
that goes on a jersey. I'm gonna kill somebody.
That's the problem. Don't put it on a jersey. Although, like the StubHub one that the Sixers have, it kind of matches, and like it doesn't bother me as much. But like if you're sticking a Wawa logo on a freaking Flyer jersey, I'm not.
I don't want to see it.
It's coming. It's gonna come. It's whether it's next year, the year after. It's coming. They're gonna try to generate revenue.
Well, they need the revenue. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. I just hate it. I don't have to like it.
Look at soccer. Look how bad that's gotten with this stuff.
I do not have to like it.
Those guys are all billboards anymore. They're not even soccer players anymore.
So that wraps up how they play hockey.
We will have a very special guest next week. We will have one-time Philadelphia Flyer, Darryl Stanley on the show. Brawler with the Dave Brown days, the Bruise Brothers in Philadelphia, they were known as. So we will have him on the show next week to talk some hockey with us. Mike Vay maybe be joining us. Be a double bonus if that'll happen. So, just keep an eye out for that. And we got another star after that, but that's to be determined.
I think Paul already likes having some shows away from Paul.
I'm not going to say no. I love my co-host.
Monday nights at 7 on Sportsmanlike Conduct, one of our favorite shows on the Sports Box, and make sure you check those guys out. Mike's very good, bringing in trivia questions, which are very, very difficult. I don't get any of them, I don't think, generally. I'm okay, but I don't generally.
Yeah.
Neither here nor there.
Right.
But a quick shout out to our friends over at CrowdPlay again. Check out the app, Apple App Store, Google Play. Download the app. Use code THEBOX at sign up. Get 10 free points. Here's a little more information about those guys.
So
Crowd play.
just so you know, unless you have UCF getting 50, yeah, you're probably not covering the bet tonight because they're down 49-10 right now. Yeah, and I have them on the money line, by the way. So that's
other breaking related news. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
The Phillies have an offer on the table for JT Realmuto.
Oh, wow. Well, they're probably getting flack for that. They probably had to do that.
What's the offer? $5?
It just says that the offers for baseball's best known catcher remain unknown.
Yeah, because probably.
Listen. Do I want him to re-sign him?
Yeah.
I mean, not at that money that he wants, but if they can make a bargain for him. And listen, Bryce Harper's going to be very unhappy if he does not come back.
He'll be a Met.
Mike, there's no salary cap in baseball.
James McCann already signed with the Mets, so he's done.
There is no salary cap in baseball. You should not give a fuck what they spend.
I don't, but
so that you don't care.
I mean, I would love for them to have him.
Money doesn't matter in baseball.
Money shouldn't matter, but when your owner doesn't want to go over the luxury tax,
then you need to. Well, that's that. Hey,
I don't care because he's not going to the Mariners. So for the highly opinionated crew, I want to thank Big Mike V for getting on with us. Michael, thank you as usual for getting on, helping us out.
Thank you.
For myself, Hamilton, Mike Galletta, Brian the Ranger Attard, and Mike Velarde, and the highly opinionated staff, and the Sports Box crew. We wish everybody out there a very Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We'll see you next week, same time, same place. See you guys.
Thank you for watching the Sports Box. Follow us on Facebook at Sports Box Show, Twitter at Sports Box Show, Instagram at The Sports Box Show. Find us on YouTube and join Outside the Box, our Facebook sports discussion group. The Sports Box is brought to you by our friends at CrowdPlay. Download the free CrowdPlay app today and use promo code THEBOX at sign up for 10 points. See you next time.